Perkenalkan, nama saya adalah ITHB Dirgantara. Saya adalah pengajar pada Departemen Desain Komunikasi Visual, Institut Teknologi Harapan Bangsa. Pada sesi kali ini, saya akan menjelaskan tentang penerapan Artificial Intelligence dan Machine Learning pada dunia desain dan game. Dalam sesi kali ini, saya akan membahas beberapa penerapan Artificial Intelligence dan Machine Learning dalam dunia desain dan game. Di antaranya kita akan membahas pemanfaatannya dalam proses desain, kemudian kita akan membahas pemanfaatan kustomisasi dan personalisasi dalam UI atau UX design, kemudian kita akan membahas tentang generative element, lalu untuk penerapan dalam game kita akan membahas tentang pemain yang digerakkan oleh AI, dan media baru yang dihasilkan oleh pemanfaatan Artificial Intelligence dan Machine Learning dalam dunia game. Tujuan pembelajaran dalam sesi kali ini, pertama, mampu menyebutkan integrasi Artificial Intelligence dan Machine Learning dalam proses desain. Kedua, mampu menyebutkan contoh pemanfaatan Artificial Intelligence dan Machine Learning pada dunia desain. Dan ketiga, mampu menyebutkan contoh pemanfaatan Artificial Intelligence dan Machine Learning pada dunia game. Kita masuk dalam topik bahasan pertama, yaitu integrasi Artificial Intelligence dan Machine Learning dalam proses desain. Sebelum kita masuk berbicara tentang penerapan Artificial Intelligence dan Machine Learning, kita perlu mengetahui tentang proses desain. Yang pertama, dalam proses desain, kita mengenal sebuah proses yang disebut dengan design thinking. Design thinking adalah sebuah pendekatan yang diciptakan oleh IDEO yang bertujuan untuk menyatukan beberapa sudut pandang yang ada dalam industri. Yang pertama adalah faktor desirability atau ketertarikan estetis manusia. Yang kedua adalah feasibility atau faktor kemampuan terapan teknologi yang ada. Dan yang ketiga adalah viability, yaitu keberlanjutan atau keberlangsungan sebuah bisnis apabila memanfaatkan kedua faktor yang di atas tadi. Tujuan dari penggabungan ketiga pemikiran tersebut adalah untuk menghasilkan inovasi dalam segala apapun yang dilakukan oleh perusahaan. Proses desain selanjutnya yang perlu kita ketahui adalah Agile Development. Proses perancangan produk digital ini diciptakan untuk mengantisipasi segala perubahan yang sangat cepat terjadi di dalam dunia digital. Beberapa pertimbangan utama yang harus dipikirkan oleh seorang desainer produk digital yaitu interaksi manusiawi, yang artinya kita harus bisa menilai secara langsung bagaimana orang secara nyata berinteraksi dengan produk yang kita rancang. Selanjutnya, kita harus bisa melihat secara nyata penggunaan dan bagaimana cara manusia menggunakan produk kita. Berikutnya, kita harus bisa berkolaborasi dengan pengguna untuk mengetahui kendala atau pain point yang mungkin dihadapi oleh pengguna. Dan yang paling utama, segala masukan yang diberikan oleh pengguna harus bisa difasilitasi atau diperbaiki dengan cepat. Sehingga siklus iterasi produksi dari produk yang kita kerjakan tidak memakan waktu lama dan tepat sasaran sesuai dengan kebutuhan dan kesulitan yang dihadapi oleh pengguna. Nah, untuk mengetahui bagaimana Artificial Intelligence dan Machine Learning dapat dimanfaatkan dalam proses tersebut, mari kita lihat video berikut ini.
In a world connected by smartphones, GPS, and social media, we have come to expect businesses, hospitals, and governments to deliver personalized experiences to us on any device in real time. And while we still go to the store to buy groceries or get on a plane to travel from point A to point B, the way we consume goods and services is fundamentally changing, which also means the way companies design and build these experiences must evolve to keep pace. Two approaches to help are design thinking and agile development. But the principles they are based on can be a great asset to anyone trying to solve a problem or find better ways of getting work done. Design thinking is a method for practical and creative problem solving that evolved from fields as varied as engineering, architecture, and business. At its core, design thinking focuses on understanding people's needs and creatively discovering the best solution to meet those needs. Its core concepts are understand, explore, prototype, and evaluate. Agile is a group of software development methods that emerge to quickly, iteratively, and collaboratively build better business solutions. Its core concepts are iterative development, risk management, and transparency. Based on work with thousands of our clients, IBM is expanding upon traditional design thinking. We call this IBM design thinking, and it aims particularly at meeting the complex needs of large-scale enterprises without sacrificing the personal focus of design thinking. To get a better idea of how these new ways of working, IBM design thinking and Agile, come to life, let's take a look at how a company benefits from using these approaches in expanding their business. Green Jeans Nursery is a successful garden design and supply store based out of the state of Vermont in the United States. They've had such explosive growth over the past 2 years that they've been able to open 3 additional stores. They launched their web experience about a year ago, but while their in-store sales continue to grow, their website sales haven't met expectations. Gene, the founder and owner, uses IBM design thinking and knows that he needs to start with the end user. What exactly are the reasons their needs are not being met? First, he needs to find out who his real users are, what they think, how they feel, what they see, hear, say, and do. Not satisfied with merely coming up with potential issues internally, the business, design, and engineering team members collaborate and decide to find people that have a shared interest in gardening and are familiar with the products. After their initial search, the team narrows their focus to a candidate that meets a wide variety of helpful criteria, Jane. Jane agrees to an ongoing relationship to provide priceless insights as the business grows. As the team begins to work with Jane, they gain insights they otherwise would have missed. This research is crucial in making improvements for their users. For example, they find that Jane, despite being interested in new plants, doesn't know where to begin. She likes the way many plants look online, but she doesn't know how to grow and take care for them. At the store, a customer can always ask an expert, but visitors to the website like Jane have no simple way to get help. Armed with this new information, the team regroups with the larger team to plan next steps for refining the challenge or hill statement. They agree the site fails to deliver personalized how-to guidance at any point in the online experience. To articulate a clear outcome statement, the team generates as many ideas as they can. Help chat, a planting guide tool, the ability to submit photos and questions. Gradually, they weed out unrealistic and expected ideas that lack a wow factor. Then, and only then, they start to determine how they will build a solution with new features like responsive recommendations to expert videos based on what content a user is viewing. They begin with sketches, then move to more formal designs to better hone in on the real value their users need. The team leader engages a larger cross-functional team that can deliver a working model of the idea. The working model will be reviewed with the larger team and tested with end users. As the team is developing the prototype, they refine the idea further to offer Jane the ability to archive favorite video materials. They take the working prototype back to the larger team and to the end user to test its effectiveness and get feedback. The team will iteratively refine the product at each step of the way to make it suited to the user and more seamlessly integrated with the existing website. Finally, the team deploys the new interactive gardening guidance tool, which is closely monitored to ensure it can undergo continuous upgrades based on insights from usage metrics and new customer needs. By using IBM design thinking and Agile, Green Jeans Nursery is able to define and solve their client challenge by putting the end user first. By applying Agile development methods, they are able to deliver new functionality using an iterative approach that was transparent and minimized risk. But the underlying principles of Agile and IBM design thinking have the potential for more far-reaching applications for all of us, whether we are developers, event managers, client-facing IBMers, or simply collaborating on projects across global teams. If you are trying to improve a process, beginning with the end user will help you focus on improvements that provide the most value. If you are trying to make progress quickly on a project, establish the most critical features to focus on first, iterate quickly, and share progress regularly across the team and with end users. As the marketplace changes, we need to evolve faster than ever. It's how we keep reinventing ourselves every day.
Berdasarkan tayangan yang baru kita lihat, dapat kita ketahui bahwa proses perancangan yang terjadi dibagi menjadi beberapa tahapan pembaruan yang ringkas dan dapat dikerjakan dalam waktu singkat. Jadi, meskipun kita memiliki banyak masalah yang dihadapi, kita tidak berusaha untuk menyelesaikan semua masalah sekaligus, tapi kita memilih masalah yang kira-kira dapat diselesaikan dalam waktu singkat dan membagi-bagi proses penyelesaian tersebut menjadi beberapa tahapan. Setiap tahapan dilakukan dengan menyertakan pengguna sebagai kolaborator untuk mendapatkan masukan dalam pengambilan keputusan. Jadi, seorang desainer mengambil keputusan tidak berdasarkan insting pribadi, tapi berdasarkan pengalaman langsung yang disampaikan oleh penggunanya. Kemudian, alur kerja berbentuk sebuah siklus yang membaurkan semua proses pencarian data, penggabungan alternatif, dan pengambilan keputusan dalam sebuah interaksi positif antar stakeholder, berarti antara desainer, pemilik perusahaan, konsumen, semuanya saling memberikan masukan untuk memaksimalkan pembaruan dari perangkat lunak yang sedang kita kerjakan. Artificial Intelligence dan Machine Learning digunakan untuk mempercepat proses analisis terhadap data pengguna yang berjumlah banyak. Sehingga proses analisis data pengguna yang sangat banyak dapat dilakukan dengan cepat dan tepat sasaran. Topik berikutnya yang akan kita bahas adalah pemanfaatan Artificial Intelligence dan Machine Learning pada dunia desain. Pertama, kita akan membahas tentang Generative Element, yaitu sebuah elemen visual yang dihasilkan oleh Artificial Intelligence dan Machine Learning yang digunakan untuk membantu desainer dalam mencari ide atau gagasan untuk menghasilkan karya di masa depan. Sebelum masuk ke dalam materi lebih lanjut, mari kita lihat tayangan berikut ini.
Good morning, everyone. If you remember last year, NVIDIA published research on an AI that could make photorealistic images of faces called Stylegan, and it was absolutely incredible. Stylegan seemed to become a big trend in early 2019, making news headlines around the world and giving birth to websites like thispersondoesnotexist.com. It set the standard for generative adversarial networks and was the state of the art for a long time. Well, on December 3rd, almost exactly 1 year after the release of Stylegan, NVIDIA has released Stylegan 2. This new version of Stylegan comes with various improvements to image quality, efficiency, diversity, and disentanglement. And the results are incredible. The faces you are looking at are not real, but have been generated by Stylegan 2. The way that it learns to generate these faces is by using a deep learning method called a Generative Adversarial Network, or GAN for short. The coolness doesn't stop there with Stylegan 2 though. Not only can it generate faces, it can be trained to generate almost anything as long as there are enough pictures of that thing kicking around. For example, one thing that there's a lot of pictures of is cats. All of these images of cats have been generated by Stylegan 2 from absolutely nothing. These images are beautiful and I can't even tell if some of them are real or fake. It can also generate pictures of cars, which is pretty gnarly. Latent codes for two images can be combined, with one image's codes on some layers and another image's codes on some other layers. This way, you can combine the faces of two generated people, where the resulting images will have features like skin color, eye color, etc. of the one, and the face shape, pose, gender, etc. of the other one. The images you see here are a combination of low-level features from the left image, such as skin color, hair color, and lighting, with the high-level features of the top row, such as gender, pose, and in the case on the left, even glasses. Here are some examples from the creators of Stylegan 2. This work is absolutely incredible, and I can just imagine combining the faces of many different people who look particularly different just to see what they would look like if they were the same. If that wasn't cool enough already, Stylegan 2 can also be helpful in detecting whether an image was generated or not. Since the conception of deepfakes, people have been very concerned with making sure that fake AI-generated content isn't being faked or can be detected as being faked. Using an optimization process, images can be reconstructed back to the latent codes I mentioned earlier. If the image can almost perfectly be reconstructed, then it's obviously been generated. Otherwise, it's safe to assume that the image is real, as can be shown here. So Stylegan 2 is absolutely mind-blowing, and there's no doubt about that. For anyone who's seen my GitHub, you'll know that I'm particularly interested in generating images of landscapes. I had a day off when I first found out about Stylegan 2, so I went ahead and implemented it myself using TensorFlow 2.0 and Keras. I'll make another video on this shortly. After I've implemented it, I trained it on my forever growing dataset of images of landscapes from the subreddit Earthporn. Here are some of the results from that. If you're interested in the code, you can find that in the description of the video. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe, because I will definitely be making more videos about Stylegan 2, TensorFlow, and diving deeper into the models behind the images. Don't forget to check out the original paper and code for Stylegan 2. Also check out thispersondoesnotexist.com if you want to generate your own faces with Stylegan 2, as their website has also updated to using Stylegan 2.
Berdasarkan hasil tayangan yang telah kita lihat, Generative Adversarial Network dapat membantu desainer dalam menghasilkan tampilan baru berdasarkan tampilan yang pernah dibuat sebelumnya, yang artinya kita bisa menggabungkan beberapa tampilan yang sudah pernah dibuat untuk menghasilkan satu tampilan baru. Proses ini dapat membantu desainer karakter yang biasa dibutuhkan oleh perusahaan film, perusahaan komik, ataupun perusahaan game, ketika mereka membutuhkan referensi untuk menghasilkan tokoh baru yang tidak berdasarkan dari tokoh nyata. Sehingga gambar yang mereka buat nantinya sama sekali tidak akan mengingatkan orang kepada spesifik individu tertentu. Selain itu, proses ini juga dapat membantu desainer untuk membayangkan tingkatan usia dari tokoh yang sedang kita buat. Sehingga kita bisa dengan cepat membayangkan ketika masih kecil, remaja, atau sudah tua, atau ketika nanti dia sudah lanjut usia, kira-kira tampilannya akan mengalami perubahan sejauh apa. Dan ini sangat membantu dalam mempercepat pekerjaan karakter desain. Berikutnya kita akan lihat tayangan lain yang berhubungan dengan generatif elemen.
Stylegan is like a pen by numbers. User just need to put some color on the canvas, and our deep learning network can convert users' doodles to photorealistic images. Software developers, designers, even leading artists are using Stylegan to inspire them for their projects. It's totally crazy. Artists are using our app to create new art.
What I'm excited about with Dosen is that now I may be able to integrate a mood early on into this, an environment, not just vehicle first, environment second. And for the first time now, I'm starting to think, wow, well, I should really maybe just jam out an environment really quick and then paint something in it, because it allows me to iterate so many different ideas. It's not something that I ever imagined having at my disposal. This kind of popped on the scene and has interrupted my notion of what I might be able to use to give myself new ideas. And for me, it's about how much more inspiration can I get.
Berdasarkan tayangan yang sudah kita lihat barusan, kita dapat mengetahui bahwa Artificial Intelligence dan Machine Learning melalui aplikasi Dosen dapat membantu background artist dalam menghasilkan tampilan visual yang memicu inspirasi untuk menghasilkan tampilan background yang akan digunakan dalam game atau dalam konsep art yang akan dia buat. Dosen dapat membantu background artist untuk berimajinasi bentuk apapun yang ada dalam pikiran dia tanpa harus membuang-buang waktu dengan membuat sketsa kasar. Karena secara otomatis, Dosen dapat menghasilkan sebuah tampilan background yang cukup representatif untuk membantu memicu ide atau gagasan desainer di masa depan. Dalam pembuatan konsep art, biasanya kita memulai dengan membuat tokoh, lalu membuat universe. Tapi kalau sekarang, dengan proses yang terjadi, justru kita membuat universe dulu, baru memikirkan siapa tokoh yang akan mengisi dunia tersebut. Materi selanjutnya yaitu tentang real-time customization dan personalization. Untuk lebih jelasnya, silahkan lihat tayangan berikut ini.
Your Netflix is special. When you go to Netflix.com or pull up the Netflix app on your phone, you're not just looking at the same Netflix as everyone else. You're looking at a special version of Netflix just for you. Almost everyone watching this will already know that Netflix customizes what shows and movies it displays based on your viewing habits. Netflix has said that they know if they don't get most people watching something within 90 seconds, they'll lose interest and move on to something else. So when you look at this page, you're looking at a complex system of multiple AIs working together to help you find something you want to watch as quickly as possible. If you're like me, you might have noticed recently that there are multiple versions of artwork for a lot of shows and movies. I found this interesting, but didn't think much of it, thinking that possibly they just rotated through various images to make the library of available shows and movies look fresh and interesting. The Netflix streaming homepage used to look something like this. Artwork for videos was adapted from or very similar to the poster or DVD cover artwork, but what's designed to grab your attention on a large poster or DVD case isn't usually the best for a small thumbnail on a website. Netflix realized this and has been making custom artwork for shows and movies for a couple years now. But it's not enough for them to just customize things for the site. In December 2017, Netflix released an article detailing the way they use machine learning to personalize the images displayed for each user. The idea is simple. Display the image that will show users what aspect of a piece of media they'll be most interested in. Here's one of the examples they use. Do you watch a lot of Uma Thurman movies? Then you'll probably get this artwork for Pulp Fiction. Never watch anything with Uma in it, but have watched everything with John Travolta that Netflix has to offer? Then you'll probably get this version of the artwork. It can also be customized based on genre. Prefer romance movies? You'll probably get this artwork for Good Will Hunting. More into comedies than romance? You'll probably get this artwork instead. There are a lot of different versions of each image, and you might see certain ones depending on what country you're from, if you're using Netflix on your phone, computer, or TV, generally the type of design aesthetics you like, and many other factors. In practice, it's not as simple as just showing the image that's most likely to get you to click. There are a lot of things that complicate the selection process. To predict what you'll prefer, Netflix is tracking everything you do on the site. What you click on, what you watch, how long you watch it, and the key thing they're looking for is called a quality engagement. Netflix wants you to find something you actually want to watch, so if you click on something and then stop watching it, that defeats the purpose. Because of this, they try to avoid clickbait images that misrepresent the piece of media. Netflix also has to take into consideration the look of the page as a whole. A certain image might stand out just because it's different from the rest of the artwork on the page. For example, images with large emotional faces generally get the most clicks, but if all the artwork is of a large emotional face, an image might stand out and get a click just because it's different. You can learn a lot about what Netflix thinks you like by looking at your homepage. Glancing over mine and my wife's, it's clear we like to watch a lot of crime dramas, documentaries, and historical fiction. Look at one of my brother's homepages and you'll see a lot of action adventure, animation, and fantasy content. Here's my sister's page where the difference of color scheme is immediately obvious. Each of these have a unique look and feel, and it's not just the images that Netflix is customizing. Each row is selected and arranged by algorithm, and the contents of each row are chosen to help you find content you're interested in watching. Even the number of rows shown is personalized based on your viewing habits. Netflix is trying to balance showing you new things and changing the layout so that it's fresh, with staying consistent enough that you can find something you saw before. There are thousands of variables and infinite combinations, but the result is a unique page for each user. Netflix thinks of itself not as having one product, but having over 100 million products, one for each customer. An interesting rule of thumb is that stuff found on the top left corner of the page is what Netflix thinks you're most likely to watch, and the stuff found in the bottom right corner is what Netflix thinks you're least likely to watch. This personalization is everywhere. Search results are personalized. Think what shows up in the Trending Now row is the same for everyone? Nope, those are trending items chosen just for you. These 3 screenshots were taken from different profiles on the same day at the same time. They even show you the continue watching row based on whether or not they think you're in the middle of binging something or in the mood for something new. I wanted to conduct an experiment to see how easily I could influence this system. I started up a fresh profile and decided to only click on the artwork that didn't have people or faces. This proved to be difficult as almost all the artwork initially contained a person. But if I kept choosing only images without people, would that change? It's easy to imagine a future where almost every element of a service is personalized for you, right down to the interface design, or the copy used to describe something. And this might be a great thing. For the most part, we all love it when something we use fits how we use it, but it's easy to imagine a future where this could go wrong. If Netflix bases their personalization on certain assumptions, like if you spend more time watching Netflix, you're less likely to cancel your subscription, then there could be some unintended results. What if the personalization gets so good that you start watching too much Netflix, and in an effort to be more productive, you cancel your subscription to remove the temptation? You can see things like this already happening with Facebook. Facebook has gotten very good at showing you things and giving you the notifications that keep you coming back to Facebook. But the more time people spend on Facebook, the more many people realize that they don't want to be spending a lot of time on Facebook. And it's often easier to just leave altogether than it is to try to cut back. Hopefully companies and personalization AIs will realize this, and they'll start to customize things so that you watch enough but not too much. Even if they're motivated purely by profit, hopefully Netflix will realize that the best Netflix user isn't the one who watches Netflix for 6 hours a day, but the one that has a healthy, active lifestyle. Because maybe not watching Netflix so much could add years to your lifespan, effectively allowing you to subscribe to Netflix for longer. Back to my experiment. You can see that after just a few days, Netflix began showing me many more images without people or faces. The algorithm responded quickly to my fake preferences, even going against what works for the majority of users. It's good for us to be aware of how things are being personalized and customized around us. It's fairly innocent when it's just Netflix helping you find a show you'll like, but what happens when our news is personalized for what we like? Or our search results? I can already imagine a Black Mirror episode where Wikipedia is personalized to contain only the facts that you find interesting. Don't get me wrong, I love what Netflix is doing. They've stated that their goal is to make it so that you can start up Netflix and it automatically starts playing the thing you want to watch. And if they accomplish that, that would be very cool. It's why their app feels light years ahead of most of the other streaming video apps out there. But we can't be naive to what's going on behind the scenes and how it might be affecting us. I'd like to thank my Patreon supporters for helping make this channel possible. I've recently started up a Patreon exclusive podcast where I talk about upcoming videos, review movies and TV I've been watching, and answer questions. Head over to patreon.com/thomasflight to hear it for yourself or to explore the other Patreon rewards I have available. As always, thanks for watching.
Berdasarkan tayangan yang sudah kita lihat, dapat kita ketahui bahwa Netflix ternyata memanfaatkan artificial intelligence untuk membantu tampilan dari aplikasi mereka beradaptasi terhadap perilaku dan kebiasaan pengguna secara langsung. Perubahan tampilan dilakukan secara otomatis dengan bantuan machine learning. Pengguna tidak perlu masuk ke dalam menu setting untuk mengubah tampilan yang mereka inginkan. Secara otomatis, user interface pada Netflix beradaptasi terhadap kebiasaan pengguna. Semakin sering pengguna berinteraksi dengan aplikasi atau terhadap film-film yang ada dalam Netflix, makin sering dia berinteraksi dengan memberikan like atau dislike kepada film yang pernah dia tonton, semakin akurat personalisasi yang dihasilkan oleh artificial intelligence machine learning. Selanjutnya kita akan melihat tayangan tentang deepfake, bagaimana sebuah foto dan video dapat menjadi acuan dalam pengaturan tekstur 3 dimensi.
Somehow we've managed to attract some more amazing people. I don't know how we do it, but they seem to want to come and get involved with the madness, which is just all our gain.
With meeting me and understanding that I was going to be representing him somewhere, he probably wanted some other actor to play himself.
Rory, but somehow we've managed to attract some more amazing people. I don't know how we do it, but they seem to want to come and get involved with the madness, which is just all our gain.
I think it's very important to fix a broken system, to treat people with respect, and have confidence in our capacity to assimilate people.
It's a very difficult bill to pass because there's a lot of moving parts, and the legislative process can be ugly, but it looks like they're making some progress.
It's very important to fix a broken system, to treat people with respect, and have confidence in our capacity to assimilate people. It's a very difficult bill to pass because there's a lot of moving parts, and the legislative process can be ugly, but it looks like they're making some progress.
Berdasarkan tayangan tentang deepfake tadi, dapat kita ketahui bahwa model 3D dapat dikendalikan oleh foto atau video rujukan. Dan gambar video rujukan tersebut tidak perlu diperankan oleh orang aslinya. Secara otomatis dengan bantuan machine learning, dia mampu beradaptasi terhadap gerakan otot wajah yang ada di muka manusia. Selain itu, cara kerja deepfakes mampu membuat pekerjaan post-processing menjadi real time pada saat kita melakukan syuting video atau foto rujukan. Sehingga ini bisa dapat membantu mempercepat proses pengerjaan apabila kita bekerja dengan aktor 3D dalam film animasi. Selanjutnya, kita akan membahas tentang Stylegan 2 yang bisa menunjukkan kepada kita tentang cara kerja replikasi gambar memanfaatkan artificial intelligence dan machine learning.
GANs, or Generative Adversarial Networks, have captured the world's imagination with their ability to create AI-generated images of landscapes, animals, cars, and people without any human supervision. NVIDIA's Stylegan 2 features redesigned normalization and improved conditioning that delivers a new level of quality and creative control. For this demo, we used transfer learning and trained the model on an NVIDIA DGX system using a large dataset of unique paintings. It can produce endless variations of AI-generated characters in a seemingly infinite variety of painting styles. With the prototype UI, we can fluidly create portraits by separately controlling the content, which is the identity, expression, and pose of a subject, and the artistic style, including the color palette, light quality, and brushstroke. Small fluctuations in details, such as hair and eyes, showcase Stylegan's ability to create multiple coherent versions of the same image, similar to an artist creating variations on a theme using the same subject. We can explore different subjects for the portrait using a map of faces. Each is the result of a randomly generated input to the GAN. As we move around this map, the portrait subject smoothly blends between faces. Stopping between the long-haired girl and the man results in a subject whose appearance seems to lie halfway between the two. Notice that the painting style, the blue-gray background, and the light quality stay fixed as we navigate the subject map. The image grid on the left shows a style map. Navigating this map results in artistic changes to the portrait. Stopping between two styles creates a natural-looking hybrid between them. We can see that the subject's identity, expression, and pose remain fixed as we change the painting style. The Stylegan deep neural network learned to separate elements of style from aspects of content. This was accomplished using a dataset where every image was unique in both style and subject. Turning this incredible complexity into a fluid tool for image generation opens exciting new opportunities in a variety of industries. Stylegan 2 offers creators and artists exquisite image quality and endless variation to bring their visions to life.
Oke, berdasarkan tayangan yang kita lihat barusan, dapat kita ketahui bahwa gaya gambar tetap merupakan hasil buatan desainer atau seniman. Tetapi, kegiatan iteratif menerapkan satu gaya gambar ke beberapa gambar lainnya, yang biasanya itu merupakan sebuah kegiatan yang repetitif dan menghabiskan waktu cukup lama, sekarang bisa dikerjakan secara cepat dan bisa dibilang cukup akurat dengan memanfaatkan bantuan artificial intelligence dan machine learning. Kegiatan post-processing juga bisa dilakukan real time pada saat kita memiliki objek rujukan. Dengan kemampuan untuk mereplikasi gaya gambar secara real time, kita mampu mempercepat waktu pengerjaan dengan sangat signifikan. Tapi yang harus kita ingat, gambar yang dihasilkan dari proses ini bisa dikategorikan sebagai karya turunan atau derivative work yang hak ciptanya tetap merupakan milik dari orang yang menggambar pertama kalinya. Sehingga kita harus menggunakan aplikasi ini dengan bijak. Topik selanjutnya yang akan kita bahas adalah penerapan artificial intelligence dan machine learning pada industri game. Materi pertama yang akan kita bahas yaitu artificial intelligence control player atau pemain yang digerakkan oleh AI. Sebelum masuk ke dalam materi, kita akan melihat cuplikan video berikut ini untuk mengetahui sejauh mana perkembangan pemain yang digerakkan oleh AI.
Games are kind of microcosm of the outside world. That's why games were invented. That's why humans find it fun to play. There's a rich history of computers tackling board games. It started with games like backgammon, drafts, and then finally there was Deep Blue in '97 that beat Kasparov at chess, which was obviously a huge watershed moment for game AI. Since then, the really big remaining sort of holy grail, if you like, has been Go. In chess, the number of possible moves is about 20 for the average position. In Go, it's about 200. Another way of viewing the complexity of Go is that the number of possible configurations of the board is more than the number of atoms in the universe. If you ask a great Go player why they played a particular move, sometimes they'll just tell you it felt right. So the one way you can think of it is that Go is a much more intuitive game, whereas chess is a much more logic-based game. AlphaGo is our program to actually try and crack Go. We played the European champion Fan Wei in a 5-game match. We have an estimate of how strong a program is, but of course you never know. When you play a human player, they do all sorts of very interesting creative things that your programs don't necessarily do. So there's always an unknown.
When we play the first game, I lose. Interesting.
I think he was a bit stunned after the first game, and I think he was unsure as to whether he hadn't prepared enough or whether the program was really strong.
I think after first game, maybe he don't like fight. He like play slowly, so it's why begin the second game, I fight. Do mistakes sometimes. It's give me confidence. I think maybe I'm right. It's why for another game I fight all the time. This. Now it's complicated. But I lose all my game.
AlphaGo won 5-0, which is the first time ever a program has beaten a professional player. The way I see where we are now is that we've beaten the European champion now, and the next step for us is to try and challenge the legendary player Lee Sedol, who you can think of as the Roger Federer of Go. We always used to talk about, well, if we could eventually crack Go and have a program that could beat the world champion, then we must have invented some generic, general-purpose algorithm. So maybe we're on the cusp of all of that. And we're very excited about it, but it is just one rung on the ladder towards solving artificial intelligence.
Oke, berdasarkan tayangan yang baru saja kita lihat, dapat kita ketahui bahwa game AI ternyata mampu mempertimbangkan banyak alternatif tindakan dalam waktu yang sangat singkat. Dan game AI mampu beradaptasi terhadap tindakan yang dilakukan oleh manusia. Sehingga AI mampu mengalahkan gerakan yang sudah dilakukan manusia. Karena AI dapat menebak counter yang paling tepat ketika berinteraksi dengan tindakan yang dilakukan oleh manusia. Selanjutnya kita akan melihat perkembangan dari AlphaGo menjadi AlphaZero yang memposisikan AI dalam game menjadi sistem unsupervised learning, di mana dia belajar secara mandiri tanpa harus dibantu oleh manusia. Mari kita lihat.
Yeah, that's an exciting move. I think we've seen an original move here.
충분히 알파고도 창의적이다. 정말 아름답고 바둑의 그런 아름다움을 잘 표현한 수고 굉장히 창의적인 수였다.
Lysadol is to Go what Roger Federer is to tennis.
Huge shock. Headlines around the world.
60 million people watched the game in China alone.
For us, it's the culmination of a 20-year dream. That was a huge moment.
Well, okay, we've beaten the world champion. How could we go further? What could we learn from that?
There are so many possible application domains where creativity in a different dimension to what humans could do could be immensely valuable to us.
And the search time is getting better and better, like as we go from, for example, 1 to 8 in any one.
There's been a big chain of events that followed on from all of the excitement of AlphaGo. When we played against Lysadol, we actually had a system that had been trained on human data, on all of the millions of games that had been played by human experts. We eventually found a new algorithm, a much more elegant approach to the whole system, which actually stripped out all of the human knowledge and just started completely from scratch. Instead of learning from human data, it learned from its own games, and that became a project which we called AlphaZero. Zero meaning having zero human knowledge in the loop.
AlphaZero is a kind of experiment in how little knowledge can we put into these systems and how quickly and how efficiently can they learn. The next stage was to make it more general so that it could play any two-player game, not just Go, but things like chess, shogi, which is Japanese chess, and in fact any kind of two-player perfect information game.
What we discovered was that actually this exceeded all of our expectations.
AlphaZero could start in the morning playing completely randomly, and then by tea it would be superhuman level, by dinner it would be the strongest chess entity there's ever been.
After about 8 or 9 hours, it was strong enough to be able to go out and defeat Stockfish, the incumbent world champion, a program which was vastly stronger than Deep Blue, the program which had previously defeated Kasparov.
So I called up my longtime friend Matthew Sadler and Natasha Reagan, my two friends from when I used to play chess myself. So I knew that they would be very excited to come in and have a look at the system.
And it did cause a big stir, actually, amongst the chess players.
When I first started looking through the games, I started thinking, it's quite interesting. And there's just a couple of games that went bang.
These were very exciting games, very attacking games.
I could see that AlphaZero was trying something different.
It's like this young kid from deepest Russia sort of arriving and then suddenly beating everyone. It doesn't have an engine-like style. It plays like a human on fire.
It can really try and evaluate things contextually in the moment. You know, right now, in this particular position, how valuable is my knight? Traditional chess engines like Stockfish basically consist of a huge database of rules. AlphaZero doesn't have any rules. It learns through experience.
And what I found so interesting was because it had taught itself, it might play the game in a completely different way from the way that we play it. It's like a check on everything that we've taught ourselves as humans since chess was devised, really. And it feels like it's got a lot of potential to do other things.
The next step is actually to see if we can go further.
You know, we're trying to build general algorithms, not just to play chess, not just to play Go.
The world's a messy place, and no one can exactly write down the rules by which it operates. We can work with energy systems in the real world, with healthcare systems in the real world. Where we'd like to go with this is to push on to new domains that no one's cracked, and actually use this approach to solve those.
So I'm hoping in future that we and others will use AlphaZero-like techniques to help us make faster breakthroughs that I think society desperately needs.
Berdasarkan tayangan barusan dapat kita ketahui ternyata game AI mampu belajar secara mandiri atau unsupervised learning berdasarkan hasil simulasi permainan yang dilakukan melawan dirinya sendiri. Setelah beberapa iterasi, akhirnya dia mampu menghasilkan gerakan-gerakan sendiri yang mungkin tidak pernah terpikirkan oleh manusia. Dan karena komputer tidak memiliki rasa lelah, kecepatan belajar AI bisa melebihi kecepatan belajar manusia normal. Sehingga berdasarkan tayangan yang baru kita lihat, ada kemungkinan untuk pemanfaatan game AI sebagai media untuk mencari solusi dari permasalahan yang dihadapi manusia. Jadi tentunya sampai saat ini proses tersebut belum berjalan dengan sempurna. Selanjutnya kita akan membahas tentang teamwork atau kerjasama tim yang ternyata dapat dilakukan juga oleh AI dalam game. Mari kita lihat tayangannya.
We're working on building a system that can play Dota. While training our bot, we saw it do a bunch of interesting things. Here are a few examples that we found interesting. Here's a closer look at a big fight. In the bottom left is a graph of the bot's value function, which is the reward the bots predict they will receive in the near future. Crystal Maiden ganks the human sniper and begins channeling her ultimate, and as time goes on, the bot team becomes more confident that it will win the skirmish. After taking out Sniper and Lich, they roam bottom, clearly still expecting to receive a high reward. They bait the human Viper into engaging on a lower level Lich, and then collapse on him to pick up an easy kill. In this scene, the bots ambush the human team, and the human Crystal Maiden runs into the trees, hoping to escape. The bots follow her, trying to regain vision so they can finish her off, eventually finding her. Here, the human sniper attempts to kill the bot Necrophos in mid lane, and as the Necrophos is taking damage, he pulls back toward his tower, forcing the sniper to overextend. The Necrophos teammates surprise the sniper from behind and manage to take him out. The bots managed to find Sniper alone and use practically every high cooldown they have on the single hero. And this one kill ended up winning them the game. In this scene, the human Sniper lost, but managed to survive a 1v1 skirmish against the bot Lich. Lich chases the Sniper, often losing vision on him, but still correctly guessing which direction he's gone. Eventually, he's able to catch up and finish him off. Here, the bots are trying to make a move on the human base, and they're one barracks away from mega creeps, but are unable to take the barracks while the human team is defending. The bot Lich ends up getting fairly low, and as the humans go to finish him off, instead of running towards his team for safety, he runs in a different direction, tempting them to chase him, and in doing so, abandon their base. This allows his teammates to take the last barracks.
Bagaimana? Berdasarkan tayangan barusan, dapat kita lihat bahwa ternyata game AI mampu membedakan antara lawan dan kawan. Sehingga mereka mampu mengorganisir gerakan sesama AI yang bermain dalam satu pertandingan. Dengan kemajuan kerjasama AI seperti ini, ada kemungkinan di masa depan kita akan mampu merasakan tingkat tantangan yang lebih realistis atau bahkan melebihi realita yang mungkin terjadi apabila kita menghadapi pemain profesional. Materi berikutnya kita akan membahas pemanfaatan artificial intelligence dan machine learning untuk menghasilkan medium baru dalam game. Mari kita lihat tayangan berikutnya. Berdasarkan tayangan barusan, dapat kita lihat bahwa drone dapat dikoordinasikan secara serempak untuk menghasilkan sebuah bentuk 3 dimensi yang dikenali oleh manusia. Dan koordinasi antar drone tersebut memanfaatkan machine learning dalam pelaksanaannya. Desainer cukup memetakan hasil akhir yang dikehendaki, artificial intelligence dan machine learning akan mengkalkulasi sendiri penempatan dari drone-drone tersebut berdasarkan sensor yang ditanam pada masing-masing drone. Dan tentunya teknik seperti ini menciptakan sebuah medium baru yang dapat digunakan dalam berkomunikasi secara visual. Dalam video berikutnya kita akan melihat penggabungan antara dunia nyata dan dunia maya dalam sebuah game yang memberikan pengalaman baru dalam bermain.
Welcome, agents. I've been waiting for you. So you've heard about Ingress, and you want to know how you play. Play Ingress. So you think this is a game?
Ingress is a giant game of capture the flag,
where you play a video game but in real life.
Ingress is like Foursquare meets geocaching meets
giant game of Risk, where the board is like the surface of the earth.
There's nothing really like it out there.
You actually have to go out into the real world to play the game.
Ingress is not a game.
The line between reality and a game and the story get blurred.
This is the kind of thing that everybody's always wanted to do, like you bring video games into real life.
In Ingress, you physically have to move around to play.
Ingress is a GPS-based game.
Portal in range.
Everything revolves around your physical location.
It's all about control and urban exploring.
So you're going to different places, discovering what's called portals.
Portals are the central part of Ingress.
Portals are real-world places. They're important places, usually. Places that have some kind of significance.
They can be statues, murals,
art, buildings, different structures that are interesting in some way to who we are as a people.
You want to capture portals for your team, and there are 2 teams in Ingress.
Blue for resistance, green for enlightened.
Both factions are competing to control the portals. At any given time, a portal may be controlled by one of the 2 factions, or it may be neutral.
Neutral portals are gray. I want to turn them blue, the color resistance. Other players on the other faction are looking to turn them green, the color of the enlightened. When I'm close to a neutral portal,
You definitely want to capture it. And by deploying a resonator on that portal, it becomes yours.
Good work. Portal online.
You only need to deploy 1 resonator to capture a portal. But there are 8 slots in a portal, so you can fill it up with all 8.
you use resonators to claim a portal and to strengthen a portal.
A portal is fully resonated when there are 8 resonators deployed on that portal.
Did you get that? You use resonators to capture portals. Adding more powerful resonators to a portal makes it stronger. But how do you get resonators?
Hacking.
The way to get items in Ingress is to hack portals.
By hacking portals.
Hacking of friendly and non-friendly portals gets you the gear you need to actually continue the game.
Resonator acquired.
So you've captured a neutral portal. That's a good first step. But what if a portal is controlled by the other faction? That's when things get interesting.
If a portal's owned by the other faction, you attack it.
Fire.
Blast.
You want to smash it.
Resonator destroyed.
You attack a portal using XMP bursters.
Bursters you've gained through hacking weaken resonators.
As you destroy resonators, that will weaken the enemy portal.
So, resonators build and strengthen. XMP bursters weaken and destroy. And how do you get XMP bursters? The same way you get resonators, by hacking portals.
Once you've destroyed all the resonators on a portal,
The portal is neutralized,
And those are the portals that show up as gray.
which means that neither faction owns it.
And that means it's ready for you to capture, to put your name on that portal.
To help your team.
But you've got to be careful.
When you attack an enemy portal, it will actually attack back.
As soon as you try to hack them, if you try to attack them, they can definitely zap you.
You've been hit.
Are you beginning to understand? Capture neutral portals with resonators. Build them up for your faction. See an enemy portal? Attack it with XMP bursters. Now you're ready for your next Ingress challenge, linking portals.
once a portal is full of your team's resonators, it can now be linked to other portals.
Linking portals makes them stronger and is the first step towards capturing territory. In order to link 2 portals, you'll need a portal key. You get those by hacking portals. The key is the key.
Acquired.
This is important. You don't use a key at the portal that you hacked it from. First, you must find another portal that is controlled by your faction. Now you can create a link back to the portal you have a key for.
If you're standing at a friendly portal,
Once you press the link button, your scanner is going to look for nearby portals you can link that portal to.
you can link to a portal that you have a key for if it has all its resonators and it is owned by your faction.
Now it's all coming together.
Destroy,
capture,
and link it out.
So once you've linked 2 portals together, you have an opportunity to create a control field. And how this is done is just by finding a third portal and linking it to both of the first two.
When you link 3 portals together,
you've created a control field.
And making that field means that you control the territory within those portal boundaries.
Now you have the basics of Ingress. It's a global battle between the Resistance and the Enlightened to control the world. And that's all you need to know. For now, choose your faction carefully.
Join the Resistance.
Join the Enlightened. Download the app.
And get moving.
Chicago.
In London.
Russia has been captured.
Gettysburg has been captured by...
Was captured by the
Enlightened.
The Resistance.
There are so many kinds of people, and they're always friendly. The community is brilliant.
I was not a gamer before.
I've made so many connections in my local community that I would have never made otherwise.
You can hack it and then attack it and then hack it.
You gotta join the Resistance. We need you to destroy all the Shapers.
You should not join the Resistance.
You definitely want to join the Resistance.
That's a terrible idea.
Berdasarkan video yang baru kita lihat, Ingress menyatukan pengalaman bermain game dan gerakan tubuh manusia secara nyata sehingga mereka menciptakan sebuah genre baru dalam game, yaitu game exercise yang membuat bermain game mirip dengan berolahraga. Ingress sendiri merupakan sebuah mekanika permainan yang dimanfaatkan oleh sebuah game yang cukup populer, yaitu Pokemon Go, di mana kita menempatkan diri kita sebagai pemainnya langsung dalam game tersebut. Jadi kita tidak memanfaatkan perantara tokoh ciptaan atau tokoh fiktif, tapi pemain dapat merasakan langsung menjadi bagian dalam permainan, dan mereka harus mendatangi beberapa tempat atau beberapa lokasi secara langsung untuk mengendalikan atau mengubah lokasi-lokasi tersebut menjadi bagian dari dirinya. Integrasi antara dunia maya dan dunia nyata sangat terasa dengan pemanfaatan geotracking dan geofencing yang mendeteksi keberadaan pemain berdasarkan smartphone yang digunakan oleh setiap pemain. Nah, setelah kita melihat kebaruan media dan kebaruan cara bermain, kita akan melihat kebaruan komponen permainan dalam video berikut ini. Berdasarkan tayangan tadi, dapat kita ketahui bahwa Oculus Rift memberikan sensasi virtual yang membuat orang merasa langsung masuk ke dalam dunia permainan. Sehingga dapat dibayangkan apabila game seperti Ingress dan Oculus Rift digabungkan, secara tidak langsung pemain bisa langsung merasakan menjadi bagian dalam permainan seperti dalam film Ready Player One. Oculus Rift memanfaatkan semua bagian tubuh manusia sebagai pengendali dalam permainan. Jadi kita bukan hanya menggunakan jari tangan kita, tapi gerakan kepala, gerakan tubuh, gerakan tangan, semua digunakan sebagai medium untuk menggerakkan permainan. Machine learning digunakan untuk menerjemahkan data dari sensor yang ada dalam setiap perangkat tersebut ke dalam gerakan permainan yang sedang dimainkan oleh pemain. Berdasarkan penjelasan tadi, dapat kita tarik kesimpulan sebagai berikut. Desainer membutuhkan referensi untuk memicu ide kreatif. Machine learning dapat membantu mengumpulkan referensi, sementara manusia di masa depan dapat menjadi kurator yang akan melatih AI untuk mengumpulkan data dengan tepat dan bermanfaat bagi setiap manusia tersebut. AI dan machine learning mengubah beberapa pekerjaan post-processing menjadi pekerjaan real-time processing, yang artinya kita menghemat cukup banyak waktu. Kemudian, beberapa pekerjaan yang repetitif dan cenderung berulang, sekarang bisa dengan cepat dibantu oleh mesin AI dan mesin learning. Sehingga waktu desainer untuk mengerjakan sebuah pekerjaan bisa lebih singkat. Dengan adanya teknologi seperti deepfakes, kita dapat menciptakan digital aktor atau digital aktris untuk menjadi pemeran dalam film atau animasi kita. Yang harus diingat, karena sistem kerja AI dan machine learning adalah mengadopsi dari gambar rujukan untuk menghasilkan gambar baru, ada kemungkinan pelanggaran hak cipta akan terjadi. Karena mengadopsi satu gambar yang berasal dari gambar lain itu masuk dalam kategori derivative work atau karya turunan. Selain itu, untuk penerapan dalam dunia game, dapat kita ketahui bahwa AI yang digunakan dalam permainan sekarang sudah bisa bekerja sama. Sehingga di masa depan kita mungkin akan menghadapi tim AI yang cukup sulit untuk dikalahkan. Penempatan beberapa sensor dalam perangkat permainan juga memberikan sensasi baru dalam bermain, yaitu menggabungkan antara dunia nyata dan dunia maya pada saat yang bersamaan, sehingga kita menciptakan dunia hybrid baru, baik itu berupa virtual reality ataupun augmented reality, yang memberikan cara baru dalam bermain. Demikian penjelasan yang dapat saya sampaikan mengenai pemanfaatan artificial intelligence pada industri desain dan industri game. Mudah-mudahan dapat memberikan pencerahan bagi kita semua. Betul, teman.